Are they all evil? Are they like all evil? Like, no, like, okay. Hey guys, it's your girl Anna. So listen, I wanted to come on here right now and tell you guys about a new series that I'm just starting, and it's called The Beginner's Guide. So basically, when I came on here, it was with the express purpose of helping everybody figure out. I mean, just like you guys, I want to know what happened to Charlie, how and why. And as I've been thinking about it, the more I realized that it really does have a lot to do with what's going on with the world. I mean it when I say that Charlie's story is the same story as the war with Iran. It's the same story as what we're seeing with the Palestinians. It's the same story as what's going on with like the Trump administration right now. And so what I wanted to do was I wanted to fill in some of those gaps that I know that have helped me make everything start to make sense. This is the beginner's guide, and I hope that you guys will join me. Will you do me the biggest favor ever? Will you please hit like? Will you please hit subscribe? You know, over on my main channel, which is the Ana Escobar Show, we are going to be really, really focusing on who killed Charlie, how, and why. But over here on the Clips channel, I wanted to just come in and have shorter breakdowns on why is this happening? Like, why is this happening? Like, and that way, if we think enough about what it is that is happening, then we can figure out why it's happening. Because as soon as you do, and it all starts to click, then everything is going to make so much more sense. And realistically, I think that that's what's going to help every single one of us figure out what we're going to do from here. Does that make sense? I hope so. And if it doesn't yet, then I hope it will. So please don't forget to hop over to my main show, Ana Escobar, so that you guys don't miss any stuff about like our Charlie Kirk investigation and kind of why it is all exactly the same story. But if you're looking for a place to start and you're super confused, this is the channel, Ana Escobar Clips. This is where you guys are going to find us going through kind of everything that's going on in the world, why it's happening, and that way we can be keeping an eye on it, okay? Because I don't want any of them to get away with that. They're trying to do stuff to like the United States. Forget the entire rest of the world, guys. They are literally trying to like do all of this stuff to us. And if we don't start thinking about what it is exactly that's happening and start keeping an eye on it and keeping them in line, then they're going to get away with it. We're not having any of that. Okay? Are they all evil? Are they like all evil? Like, no, like, okay. I think right now, if any of you guys are like me, you've been seeing kind of all the things that are going on right now politically, especially around the world. And it can be, first of all, it can be incredibly confusing, okay? Because you're like, wait a second. I thought that Israel was our greatest ally. I thought that like they weren't doing anything bad. They just wanted a homeland for the Jewish people, blah, blah, blah. First of all, I want to start by saying there's no country that's 100% good or 100% bad. Can we start there? Like, there's no country that is not capable of doing good things and also doing bad things. When a country does that and starts to do bad things without accountability, they get out of control. And so it is on us, like it is like our or like obligation morally to call them out on it so that they'll stop. Ideally, that they'll stop, right? Oh, drop my mirror. Okay. Now, guys, just as a quick note, there's something that I do want to talk about. I want us to address it briefly. We're going to address it briefly, and then we're not going to talk about it again. Okay. So there's a word that gets thrown around a lot: anti Semitism. It's a word that they have been throwing around to try to shut down conversations like this. And what that is not, it's not honest. It's not ethical. It's censorship. And it's a silencing tactic. Like, I really think that it is a silencing tactic. I want you guys to understand the way that the people saying conversations like this one are anti-Semitic is being used is probably the meanest thing to like Jewish people, like regular, real Jewish people that I can even humanly imagine. Like it is so, it's messed up, to be honest with you. Like it's messed up. And they're doing that on purpose. You got to know that. The reason that they talk about criticism of the government of Israel or like anyone who supports Zionism, the reason that they're calling that anti Semitism is because they don't want us talking about it. For example, do you remember that guy in Utah? What was his name? Warren Jeffs, right? Like, and so he was doing all of that really weirdo stuff with the young ladies, like child brides, like really disgusting, awful stuff, right? And he used to do it. As a part of like his church, right? He had his church and they were all doing this stuff with those young ladies. Awful, awful things. Can you imagine if Warren Jeffs had come out and said, "Oh, well, you can't criticize me for doing this because otherwise that's religious persecution. That's anti-Semitism." Like, what? What are you talking about? We are talking about something that is incredibly wrong, evil, and awful that you're doing. And so I don't care what your religion is when it comes to it. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care that you have like a religion that you're hiding behind in order to stop us from talking about the bad thing that you're doing. I promise you, if we were having these conversations about Mormons, if we were having them about Buddhists, if we were having them about Catholics, think of that, right? We've had these conversations about problems within the Catholic Church. We've had these conversations about other religious communities, but for some reason, this is the one religion that we're not even allowed to talk about it. It makes no sense. And what it is it's trying to make it so that we're unable to have the conversation at all. And that's not okay. Honestly, that's messed up. That's messy. So we're going to have these conversations. And what I'm going to let you guys know is at the end of this series, you probably will have a negative feeling about what is being done in the name of Judaism. You very well may have that feeling. But you know what? It doesn't mean that that's not a legitimate feeling. It doesn't mean that you are a bad person because you're sitting there going, "Wait, they're doing all this really messed up stuff and they're saying it has to do with their religion. So where am I to go with that?" And if that's the conclusion that you come to, I want you to understand there's nothing wrong with that. We are having a reckoning with that in this country right now, and that's okay. So as long as we can have the conversations, ask the questions, and figure out like who is it that's doing bad stuff and why, then we'll be able to move forward with what we are going to do about that because that is our responsibility. It's our responsibility as Americans. It's our responsibility as anybody who has a heart and a soul and a mind to figure out what it is that's going on and whose name it's being done in. And also to figure out why it is that we can't even have these conversations. And again, if at the end of this you come to a different conclusion, that's okay too. You are allowed to come to whatever conclusion that you have. Do you know why? Because the thing about anti-Semitism, okay, is that anti-Semitism, and I'm going to misquote, I'm going to paraphrase off of what a very famous Jewish scholar, his name is Norm Finkelstein. He's a very famous Jewish scholar, and he has spoken for many years about what anti-Semitism is and what it isn't, and what it means for Jewish people, and what it doesn't mean. You guys got to understand, anti Semitism is something where there was a time, like decades ago, that if you were Jewish in the United States, it was hard for you to like go and get a job as a lawyer in a certain law group, or to write a book and have it published, or to go and move into a specific condo or co-op, or that the police would treat you badly, like based on the fact that you had that religion. Now, I don't know about you guys, but most law firms, I don't think that that applies anymore, right? Like most of the time, I would argue that the police are probably going to respond to you just exactly the same way that they would to anybody else, even if you say that you're Jewish. Like, that's not really that much of a thing anymore. So, what it is, in my opinion, is them saying, like, you cannot criticize this thing at all because of our religion. Okay, Warren Jeffs. No, we still can criticize this thing that you're doing. And your religion, honestly, is nothing more than like you trying to hide what you're doing. Sorry. So just make sure that you guys are thinking about that in the back of your minds and that you understand that you can't police people's thoughts or opinions. You can say, well, this is my religion and therefore, here's why I think it's okay, what it is that I'm doing. That's okay. And if you hear a person say, oh, you're being anti Semitic, and here's why what I'm doing is okay, then you should hear them out. That's the thing. You should hear them out. If they say, well, this is what I'm doing and this is why it's okay. Now, if Warren Jeffs said, well, this is a part of my religion and here's why it's okay, then you could choose to agree with him or you could choose to not. But I think that that should be kind of the lens that we're viewing all of this through so that we don't end up like not being allowed to talk about it. Because if we're not allowed to talk about it and they keep doing it just without anyone like stopping them from making all of these really bad decisions, then it's going to get so much worse. That's really my feeling is like it's going to get so much worse. So as soon as we can wrap our arms around, okay, so here's why they're doing this and here's why it's not cool, then we can figure out what the right answer is to how to stop it. And that's all I'm going to say about anti-Semitism from here. I am not here to make it sound like people's feelings are more important than their actions. We need to be honest. We need to be honest with ourselves and with each other. If someone is doing something wrong, that has to be addressed, period. And I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what religion you are. And if you're saying that it's okay, then you need to explain why. That's all I'm going to say. I'm like, well, that 10 minutes is all I'm going to say about it. But I think it's important. And also, by the way, I want to make sure that I'm presenting stuff in a way that you guys can use in your lives because I have no doubt that when you guys are thinking about this stuff and when you try to have conversations with other people about it, then you're going to hear some of these same arguments too. And it doesn't mean that it's okay and it doesn't mean that you should be shut down. So I want for us to present kind of some arguments that you guys can make to other people. And that way you can have like some talking points that are actually about reality, not just about lines that we've heard that we've been like sold this whole time. That's not okay. It's just not. Hey guys, it's Anna Escobar. Hey, so I just wanted to remind you, will you do me the biggest favor ever? Will you guys hit like? Will you hit subscribe? Because I really want to have these conversations with you guys and I want them to keep going. And the only way that I'm going to be able to do that is if you guys will like the videos, subscribe to the channel. I want us to have a community because we got to figure this thing out. We have to figure this thing out. And it's going to take all of us to do it. So do me the biggest favor ever. Hit like on the video. It's okay, I'll wait. See, look at that. That only took you 2 seconds. But it makes all the difference in the world for me and for little tiny channels like mine that are just getting started. But I think that it's important to get the information out there to you guys so that you are able to make your own informed decisions and form your own opinions. I am not going to be here to tell you what opinion you're supposed to have. I'm going to give you the information. We're going to talk about it. And then from there, trust you. I trust you to take that information and hold it in your own mind and come to conclusions that are right for you. Okay. But it's going to take all of us. And if somebody doesn't kind of explain this stuff, then so did you already hit like? Did you? Okay. Did you already subscribe to the channel though? Did you already subscribe? No, but over here on the Clips channel, this is where we're going to be going kind of piece by piece to figure everything out. And we're going to do that together. That's my hope anyway. Over on my long channel, that's where we kind of hang out. It's usually like over an hour. So if you just want to hang for a bit and we figure out more about what's going on in the world, I started that channel with the effort to figure out who killed Charlie Kirk, how, and why. So over on that channel, we go through the information, we take a look at it, we kind of figure it into everything that's happening in the world, new information that we get, and we do a little investigating. That's what I love is investigation, research, and learning. But if that's not really your cup of tea, toss these videos on. I want them to be shorter and sweet so that you guys can make sense of everything that's happening the same way that I did, which is by learning information and then applying that information to what I already know and seeing if it fits. If anything that we're talking about here is something that you never think about in your whole lives again, well, that's great. Girl, invite me. Let me be that way too. But what I have found overwhelmingly is once I've kind of figured out what all of this is about, then it has helped me figure out what is going on. As I have applied what I know to the new things that continue to happen, then I'm like, oh, yeah, no, I know exactly why that's happening. I totally understand. I see why that's happening. I can kind of anticipate what it is that's going to happen. And that's super important. And it's really important. It's going to get more and more and more important. I mean, I'll tell you guys, since I figured it out, kind of like, since I put things together to where I have, nothing has surprised me. Like, nothing has surprised me. The the ballroom that Trump is building, yeah, that makes sense. The fact that the Iran war keeps stopping and restarting, yeah, that makes sense. What is going on in Argentina with them selling all of that land to the Israelis? Yeah, that makes sense. Why they want us to fight with each other here in this country? Yeah, that makes sense. So once I'm hoping that like the more people the better that can kind of reach similar conclusions. That's really honestly where I think this will end up for most people. And then that way things can make sense. Because once they do and we all are tracking it, then for everybody, that's going to help us figure out where we need to go from here. That's what you're doing here. Okay.